Welcome to today's episode of Did She Really Say That? On this podcast, we are truly disrupting the entire world of business education and breaking down barriers for female entrepreneurs because, to be completely honest, all three of us just got tired of a lot of the training and education that's out there, and we wanted a place for females to feel like they could mastermind together and create more fun and play in their business. So during our podcast, you might find yourself saying, did she really say that? Because we're really challenging a lot of the traditional methods that are going on inside the business world, because we really truly want more females to actually start unlocking their millions and doing it in a way that creates more fun, play, and ease for them. So in case we haven't met, my name is Karen Angeli. I'm one of the co-founders here inside of Truth Bomb Marketing. And I'm all about bringing back the fun. We just talked about that. Like, we want to see you having more fun in your business. And for me, I discovered years ago that I just wasn't having fun. So I want to show you the steps I took to actually start enjoying what I was doing again.
I love it. My name's Heidi Muma, and I'm another one of the co-founders here inside Truth Bomb Academy. And I love to have fun when realizing profit in our businesses. I got really tired of constantly feeding my business and not actually taking an income, or even having a bonus once in a while, or having the company pay for something that I just automatically paid out of my own pocket because my company didn't have a financial plan, didn't have an effective cash management system. And when you do, when you actually can pay yourself every time you bring, whether it's $20, $500, $10,000, you can realize profit in your business. That makes business fun.
Yeah, we like fun business, but the other part of running a business is having that operations in.
Mm-hmm.
And so my name is Chef Katrina. I am one of, again, another co-founder. There's three of us, by the way, if you haven't figured that out by now. If you've listened to our podcast, did you listen? You'll notice there's three of us. So, and we've all come together from different areas and different walks of life and business to kind of really talk about what it is to be a female entrepreneur in business. I love systems and operations. One of the things for me is, how do you minimize your expenses around running your business? Because too many times we have a lot of gadgets, a lot of gizmos, a lot of fancy tools that are out there.
I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
It's galore.
We went there.
You just never know what we're going to say on here or sing. But the thing is I was getting frustrated with like all these expenses and all these things that we're told to have to be able to run a profitable business that were actually killing our business. So how do you add the simplicity and fun of automation into your business, letting go of the things you don't need anymore in your business, so that you can have the time and flexibility to spend with your family and friends and really do what you wanted? Why you got into business was to have fun, flexibility, and travel more. So yeah, and money.
We like money, and that's really what we're talking about today. We're talking about money. Like, we like to talk about this topic because this is a huge sticking point for a lot of females when it comes to money and the management of your money. And is the word budget, is that a dirty word, or
She said a dirty word.
Oh, is it a dirty word? I don't know, but like, that's the whole question. Like, and we were talking about this before we started the podcast. Like, how do we want to, as the co-founders of Truth Bomb, how do we want to allocate our funds when they're coming in, pay ourselves? How does that look like? When are we paying ourselves? And having these conversations that sometimes aren't had enough. If you're in business by yourself, sometimes you don't have this conversation with yourself. Like, this is an important thing to talk to yourself about. How am I going to do this? What is this going to look like? So, I mean, and Katrina, you brought up something really interesting, is that if you don't have a financial plan, and you have a business, do you really have a business if you don't have that financial plan? Like, what is that going to look like? So,
and it's so important because I've seen this just recently too. This is kind of like where this comes up. And even for myself, is by not having that financial structure, not being able to kind of predict your business and not understand how the money's coming in and what you're selling and why you're selling that, and really understanding your expenses, right? That's the big thing. And I just saw again, and I was talking with somebody, and they just went under for their business. It was very successful, and yet the financial structure of it wasn't in place. They didn't see the numbers. And I think a lot of times women are told that we don't know how to do math. I think there's a cultural and a time period where women were said, "Oh, well, you're not good with numbers. It's okay. I'll take care of that for you." Like it is. If you've ever talked with any women, it's sometimes we hear that is, "Oh, you're just not good with numbers." And I know we've been trying to change that conversation for years. That's why they're trying to get women into mathematics, into science, and everything else. Is they're trying to shift that conversation to get something.
There's so many, and they're talking about that. There's so many things with STEM that all of those encompass the scholarships and everything, especially for women, are available. But when you say we're not good with numbers, and we're told we're not good with numbers, but of all the married women I talk to, they're the ones who are in control of the household funds. They keep the numbers of they pay the bills. They are in charge of keeping the everything balanced and everything accounted for.
They pay the electric bill, they pay the phone bills,
they pay the mortgage, they do the groceries, but they also keep track of all the bills.
Yeah.
And it was like, so I've been married twice. Both times neither husband could pay bills. Neither time. The first one, he had a business and he wrote the checks for the wrong amounts.
Oh God.
Them at all. So week 2 into his business, and let me tell you, he graduated. He's a genius. He was an absolute genius. But when it came to just details like that, it went out the window. So he got fired from bookkeeping day.
Yes.
Week 2.
Yes, quickly.
He was fired from bookkeeping. But anyhow, that's a complete side story. But it just cracks me up because they do. It's like women do not dominate in the math fields. We don't dominate in the science fields. Now it's changing. More women are going into science. I actually have 2 nieces who have math majors. And it's like, so it is changing, but it's slowly changing.
Yeah.
And I think what was fascinating this week, we had a conversation with a bookkeeper. And she was like, she said when she has interviewed people to hire, she found herself more often than not hiring men. And when she went back and thought about it, she was like, realized like went through her head how the interviews went, what she was looking for, what she was asking. And so often it was like why she didn't hire the women was because when it came down to the numbers, it came down to like, well, what are you looking for in a salary? They always went low.
Backwards.
It was like they started really low.
And then they went
backwards. And
then they went backwards.
Like, so like if they sat in silence.
Yeah, they like lowered their number because they weren't confident. They weren't
poo,
right? I was just like, wow, that's and I'm thinking of looking back at different interviews that I've had, and I could almost see myself doing that.
I did.
And it was just like, because it's like you have this anticipation. It's like I want to get hired. I don't want to reach for the stars and be like, well, like you don't get it because you're asking for too much.
Yeah.
But the men go in there knowing the value that they are offering to the company. And I think the women know the value they offer, but they need
the job so much they're afraid to ask for the next step.
Yeah.
If they lose the job, because we're thinking consequence if we lose the job.
Yes.
Because we might be the only breadwinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily think that men don't think it, but I feel like we cling on to this because we've had so little control of our own money.
Yeah.
That we just, because I did this.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a chef at Disney,
yeah,
I was applying for a promotion, right? I was like going through that stage, and I was coming back in having left for a very short brief period of time doing something I found out I never want to do ever again. I am definitely not a data input processor number thing. It makes me sleepy as all out can be, right?
Oh God, put me behind a desk and I will fall asleep. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, and I thought I was great at like produce and marketing sales because I really do like talking to people. But you have to start on entry level, which is like sitting in front of a computer and taking orders and putting it in. That it was killing my soul. Like I found out that's not for me, not my thing.
Mm-mm.
So when I went to apply back again, they asked, what is the salary you want? And I remember having this internal conversation. Well, I don't want to ask too much, right? I don't want to seem greedy.
Right. Greedy. Yes, that is
Right. I
often.
don't want to seem greedy. I know the value I brought to the table, but I wasn't sure I was expressing it well enough in my negotiations, right? Because sometimes it's more of like a feeling or intuition for us women. And so I do remember being like accepting like the first offer, and everybody kept telling me, don't accept the first offer, counter offer. And I didn't like really trust myself. I was fairly young and still really new in the world of all this.
Yeah.
Of saying, okay, I can counteroffer, and I want to counteroffer for an extra, $10,000 more a year, or $20,000. Like, what would that limit be? And would I be okay if they pushed back, said all we can offer is this? And I say, well, I really prefer it. Like, what is that negotiation that women really like? What was I struggling with in that moment, right? Inside of that. So I think when you look at, when we were talking with her, she's like, and the other interesting thing about that was she noticed that we talk ourselves back, right? She goes, when I asked the question differently, I got a better response, and I actually got confident in the answer and how they wanted to get paid. I didn't have them go backwards. It took asking the question differently to a woman.
So what was the difference in how she asked the question?
So a lot of things that she saw on resumes typically with women are different businesses. Typically we jump from our business, we have a shorter time span. If something doesn't feel right, we'll leave a company, right? So that tracks on a resume. It's like, why were you there? And so she would ask, and she would look at where they spent the longest time, and she would ask, what did you like that had you stay at this company for this long period of time, right? And then they would give her an answer, and then she really knew kind of how to dive in to have them have confidence, and then asking, okay, so what's the salary you're looking to have? Because you've been inside that really good feeling of what you want. She goes, asking that question, she goes, when you look at some of the guys' resumes, they're like, yeah, I jumped from this business to Excel. I got this education, this training, and I was doing this, right? So typically it was just a different approach. And she says, once she started changing the questions and really talking into the woman's strengths of like what she wanted to do, she's like, I started hiring more women. She goes, it was easier. She's like, but initially I didn't realize that it was the changing of the question that brought the confidence forward for women to then have them ask the price they wanted and be willing to say, that's what I'm worth. So it's a little bit of a digging for us. And I found that really fascinating conversation, honestly. I'd love to sit down and bring her on our podcast, because it was a really interesting look from a corporate perspective of what it looks like to bring women into those high-end revenue areas, because it's a lot of times it's us. And it's also knowing how to bring out the best in a woman.
Well, it goes down to the mindset piece. Like, this is where I come in, because it's like, well, as women, how come we can't have that confidence as a man? Is it because somebody's told us that if we act that way, that we're a bitch? And it's not acceptable for a female to be that kind of person.
Assertive or aggressive, things like that.
Yeah. There is a little bit of a different standard in our culture for a man that acts very assertive and aggressive. There's a different standard for a man than there is for a woman that does the same thing. So the question is that I always ask myself is, am I okay, regardless of what anyone else thinks about me, whatever I've done? Like, maybe it is perceived in a different way. Am I okay at the end of the day, just being okay that that's part of who I am? And for me, the answer is absolutely, because I've had people along the line as I've built my business tell me certain things that just take me back. And I have to think about them for a second. I have to go, wait, what? Am I doing that? And I have to kind of look at myself and go, am I doing that? Is that actually hurting somebody else? Or is that someone else's perspective and I can let that go? Is what I'm doing actually hurting somebody? Is it actually out of alignment with who I want to be? Or is it just a perspective thing that somebody is saying, oh, you're XYZ? And it's like, okay, I don't need to accept all of the opinions about me.
Right.
And I can be okay not accepting all of the opinions about me. And that's not an easy process to get through.
No.
No, it's not, because this is something I still deal with to this day, where I ask myself this question all the time is like, somebody said this, am I okay with this? Like, can I just let that go and just let me be me and still love me for that part of me that somebody else sees as either aggressive or pushy or whatever? And that's maybe not how I intended it, but that's how it came off. And can I still love that part of me? And the answer is 100% I can, but it wasn't easy to get to that point.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is an interesting conversation, because I love talking with women around this, because we all talk about money and we all talk about our hangups around it. Right. And we all talk about, and it really, I found, like, I've run different types of businesses, coaching businesses, mentorship businesses, product-based businesses, ran a restaurant even. And I think this plays into that. It's like when you own a restaurant and you're the hat wearer of everything, it really does look at, like, what is it you believe? What do you know you can do? And where do you ask for help? The thing is that there's so much when I started my business, especially as being a restaurateur, I had a great education around culinary. I thought I had a great understanding around branding. I thought I had a great understanding of how a restaurant worked. But when you own the physical establishment and you're responsible for every element of it, what you realize quickly is that you can't do it all. Like, you are literally one human being. And if you continue to play the game of, I'm going to do this all on my own, especially, like, I am not a bookkeeper. I know that from day one. I took bookkeeping or accounting in college, and it was like not my jam. I always knew, you can give me the numbers to read, I understand it, but necessarily writing down that detailed, tedious tracking crap, like, not my world, right? I do it if I have to, but not because I want to. There's a difference, right? And there are geniuses in it. Like when we talked to you yesterday, she's a mad genius. She loves being in that world. Like, numbers light her up. Like, that kind of person, you're looking for those people. You're looking to create either a partnership or somebody to work with in that. And I think we have to stop being scared of that word. What's it going to cost me to hire somebody? Because I think we look at that a lot.
What's going to cost you not to?
And I think that's the better question, is that we get so afraid of hiring or paying somebody for their work. And here's what I know. If you need them, and you'll figure out how to pay for it. Like, you will always do what you need to do to be able to have that person there. Because the amount of stress that takes off you as an entrepreneur means that you can focus in on your genius and let somebody else be in their genius.
Sometimes it's like you have to look at how much time this is going to give me back. When you hire somebody, I mean, it's like when you hire somebody, either what they're doing for you is going to increase your income. It's either going to increase your income or increase your time.
Yeah.
And then how you use that income and time is going to be the biggest difference in how and how beneficial that hiring is.
Yeah.
It's like, because it's how you use your resources is also determined in how the success of your business.
I mean, and when you get into business, isn't your goal to help people? And I mean, reality, like, if reason I'm building this business is not only to create more female millionaires in the world, right? But I also know that I have an opportunity to employ and help other people in my community and around the world, because with this company's growing, I can hire people and I can make their lives better based on the background, the choices, the information we want to make, and the movement we're creating with this company. Right. So it's twofold. Not only do we get to help women create more millions, but our goal is even those that join our company that work for us have that same opportunity to create their millions. Right. Like, that would be the win-win in everything that we create. Not only do they get to work with us, but then they get to learn how to keep that money moving forward as a whether you're an employee or you're 1099, whatever, like however that's structured, there's opportunities to really have more women understand how unique they are in the world of business and just how much value they bring in. That's the yin and the yang to what's out there already.
Yep. And when we talk about, it's like, we start talking about the financial structure, financial plan you have for your business. And sometimes I think we often put it off because we're like, well, I'm not making any money yet. It's a great time to put in a plan before the money actually starts coming in, because sometimes it's like we get emotional around money. We get emotional.
No, Karen, do we get emotional around money? Never.
Well,
I mean, yes.
We get really happy. We like money, people. We really do. That's why we call it unlocking your millions. Like, we like money. Anyhow, it's like, so having that plan put in place before the money actually starts coming in. So when the money starts coming in, you know what to do with it. It's not to take the emotions out, because women were emotional beings. We just are.
We like that, by the way. Stay emotional.
It's like we want to embrace that about you, not to discount that or to get rid of it. But having that plan in place, it gives a structure for your money, and money needs structure. Money needs a plan. And it's like, so that you keep it going, you keep it moving, and it doesn't just run out the door before you know, because sometimes it has a habit of doing that.
Well, you talk about having that financial plan and then hiring people. I think that financial plan can grow as your money grows. And as your money grows, you can go, okay, this is how much I'm allocating for employees to pay people. And if you are overpaying, or you have things that you're paying for that you can let go of so that you can pay somebody to do the work for you, like, figure that out. Like, there are things that you can still do in your business too, so there's that, you talk about that yin and the yang. It's that balance of figuring out, do I have it in my finances too, that I can pay for somebody, so that I'm not on this hamster wheel of feeling like, oh my God, I have to pay my employees, so now I can't pay myself because I have to pay my employee first. That's crazy talk.
Been there, done that. I will tell you.
Are the captain of your ship. You should pay you first. Like, this is like so mind-boggling to me, because I never would consider doing this, but I realized that there are females out there, and even Katrina, you have said this, you did this, where you paid your people first before you paid yourself. That just makes you feel like, what am I doing this for? I'm working so hard and I'm not seeing anything at the end of the day. And that just burnout. Hello, that's where we get burnt out. We get so burnt out because we're trying to help other people before we actually fill our cup.
So now you have to sell more. So now there's a pressure to sell more, and there's a pressure of like, do you raise your prices? Are you doing a sale? How do I get like the revenue coming in? And it creates another level of stress, because you put everyone else above you. And now you definitely don't want to continue forward. And then the business is deeper. And like when I did my last business, I remember apologizing to to the people that were working with me, because I recognized that by having put them first over myself, I didn't want to be in my business.
Right.
And so unfortunately, the downside of that was because I didn't have that financial plan in place, and I didn't even really, I knew about it. I've been working with business coaches. Everybody talks about it, but there is something about implementing it for yourself. If, like, for me, I'm a visual learner. So if I don't see how to do it and you just tell me that I should do it, I don't have concept. It's all conceptual. It's like trying to connect a web page to an email provider. Like, like, it's too conceptual. They talk about like, oh, let's just connect here. It's like, yeah, but that's not like a physical, like, in my world, like, connection.
For me, it was the Facebook. The Facebook pixel that I was like, oh, what do you want me to do? What's a pixel? And I'm like, where does it go? Why does it go on my website? I don't understand.
Oh, what's a pin on Pinterest?
Yeah, what's
a thing that
sticker? Like, do I just like tack it up there? Like, what is that? Like, You have to think like some of us and a lot of us are visual learners. So if I don't see it or at least have a concept of it, I don't even know how to implement it. Right. And so for me, we talked about it and, I had an accountant, I had somebody that was tracking all my expenses, but I still didn't have the financial plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I had people talk to me about what we teach inside of Profit First. I had people explain the concept to me. I read it, but until I actually implemented it,
Did
I
it.
saw it implemented in the business, then I was able to start to understand how it impacted the business. And I think when I talk to women in business, and especially having owned a restaurant or talked to people that are doing product based, this part is super, super critical. And not only is it for product based businesses, but if you're coaching or you're doing course creation, if this isn't in place, I truly believe this is why I saw a lot of entrepreneurs in the very beginning that were course creators burnt out, because they saw the hamster wheel. I've got to create a new course. I've got to create a new course. That's the only way to keep the money coming in.
Right.
And because they were in constant creation, creator, product, sell, launch all the time, the question I have is that I think when we get into business, it's assumed that we have this financial knowledge. Reality is that most of us get into business and then we learn about the financial knowledge.
What I love about too what we've done with Truth Bomb is we've created this. So write this down, guys, because this is a big deal. This is something I didn't figure out right away. But what I love that we do is that we created it as a community that people could continue to buy into. So it was a recurring revenue stream. Look at your business and ask yourself how you can have a recurring revenue. So think about it in the way of if you go and you buy supplements for yourself every month, you have to go back and buy that supplement so that you have it for the following month. It's the same concept in your business. How can you put that into your business as well so that you do have that continual stream so that you're not always in launch mode?
Yeah.
I don't want to always be in launch mode. And so before we started Truth Bomb, I was asking myself, how can I actually start making a recurring stream of income so I'm not always having to just push this one product? How can I continually have people connect with me? They want to learn my knowledge. How do I continually drip with them and work with them in a space that's more of a community aspect? And so and for me, that was what was like, yeah, let's do Truth Bomb together because that just makes sense. But think about that whenever you're looking at structuring the finances in your business too. How can you make it so that people are wanting to come back to you and connecting with you over and over and over again and creating more of that repeat person coming to connect with you more?
And we will tell you this in anywhere, whether it's in the restaurant business, physical product, a repeat customer is worth $10,000 more than a new customer.
Yeah.
Right. Like ideally, or 10,000 times more, right? Because they've already believe in you. They already believe in the company. This is why Apple users, I love you guys, right? Even though I'm not an Apple user, I find it super fascinating, the culture that was created. So you talk about a product-based company, but it has a mass community behind it. It's got the movement. And every single time a new product, phone, something comes out, there's a line around the door to be one of the first to have that in their hand. There's such a culture of, oh my God, I got this. And oh my gosh, this is going to change my life. And there's this sense of being part of the company by having the phone, right? And I think that's really interesting when you're looking at how are you building a business? What are you doing to continue making that? And I know this is going to be a big piece. I know we talked about this and I've talked with other women, but community and that culture of business is going to start it's going to become more of what they're expecting. So it's going to be less around just selling you a product. And really it's going to be coming around what's the community, what's the movement, what's the culture around this. And that's being driven by a lot of the kids today. It's like we don't want to, because they don't want to just have a job anymore. They want to be part of something bigger. And I think when you look at how that's going to impact us in words of business and marketing, community, culture, movement, ideals, Trust, all of that is going to play a really big part, especially as Web3 comes into play and it's more virtual, more relationship built, less posting on a billboard type of a thing. You're going to start seeing a request from people: protect my privacy, show up authentically, deliver what you promised, stop being outrageous. Like that's going to be the biggest piece I see moving forward.
Yep. Mic drop. True. True. Exactly. So I think with that, we can kind of wrap it up, because this was a really, really good conversation. And I want to encourage you that if you loved this, please give us a 5-star on any of the podcast places that you're listening to. And if you're listening to us on YouTube, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Oh, you're getting fireworks behind you. If you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing all the fireworks happening behind Heidi and Katrina right now. But if you're not, I'm sorry, you missed out. But if you're on YouTube, you got to see that. Give us a thumbs up. Go ahead and tap that subscribe button as well, because that way you can continue to listen to us and connect with us, because we're going to continue to support women in unlocking their millions. So if you haven't done so already, we want to invite you to join us inside of Unlocking My Millions. We're literally showing more females how to actually start enjoying their business again, how to actually start having more fun, play, and ease around the whole process of your mindset, your money, and your marketing. So if you want to join us, then go to truthbombmarketing.com. We would love to hang out with you and have fun with you. But until next time, we will see you inside the community.